So the Treaty of Cordova established Mexican independence from Spain at the end of the Mexican War of Independence. It was signed August 24, 1821 in Cordova, Veracruz, Mexico. The signatories were the head of the Army of the Three Guarantees, which was the name given to the army after the unification of the Spanish troops led by Agustin Iturbide and Vicente Guerrero, consolidating Mexico's independence from Spain. Also signed by Agustin Iturbide and acting on behalf of the Spanish government, Juan Donahue. He was a Spanish military officer of New Spain from July to September of 1821. He was the last Spanish ruler of the New Spain. The treaty has 17 articles which developed the proposals of the Plan of Iguala, also known as the Plan of the Three Guarantees. For the final stages of the Mexican War of Independence, Mexico was to become constitutional monarch where Peninsulares and Creoles enjoy equal political and social rights. The treaty is the first document in which Spanish, without authorization, and Mexican officials accept the liberty of what will become the first Mexican Empire. But today, the treaty is not recognized as a foundational moment, since these ideas are often attributed to the Grito de Dolores in 1810. The treaty was rejected by the Spanish government, and Spain didn't recognize Mexico's independence until December of 1836.
He was born as a Creole, and he had a really good education system growing up, so he was exposed to Enlightenment ideas really young, and that could be why he became involved in the resistance movement after France invaded Spain, because he had these ideas, and he became a really important key figure in the fight for independence. Some of the main things he's done is write the Manifesto, which outlined the reasons that the First Republic fell, and he also wrote the Jamaica Letter when he was exiled in Jamaica after the fall of the Second Republic, and it analyzed the War for Independence and how he thought the government should be, and he basically thought that it should be modeled after the British Parliament. So he wanted a system just like the British did. And during the Second Republic, he led troops into New Granada in an organized guerrilla movement. He created the Decree of Death, which was saying that all the killings and atrocities were acceptable if it was against the Spanish born, and he also led the Admirable Campaign, which was an attempt to free Caracas again, and initially received support and praise for intervention. So basically, overall, Bolivar united a lot of South America in federation freedom from Spanish control, but that caused a really fragile government, so he had to declare himself as dictator in 1828. He later on had to resign, and he escaped an assassination attempt, and then he died on December 17th in 1830 from a disease, but a lot of historians think that it was tuberculosis.
Hola, me llamo Bolivar, represento Venezuela.
Causes of the battle were that the Patriots broke terms of agreement and that they were forced to trade with only the Spanish. The trade was very unfair. And there were also many racial tensions between the Creoles and the Peninsulares because the Peninsulares were privileged and got the special treatment, whereas the Creoles didn't. The Battle of Carabobo took place on June 24th, 1821, just outside of Valencia, Venezuela. The battle was between Bolivar's forces and the Spanish royalists, and in order to gain support, Bolivar promised to abolish slavery, and then there were a lot more supporters and volunteers fighting for him. Okay. Venezuela was the clear winner of this battle with a ratio of 1 to 15 people killed, meaning that for every 15 Spanish killed, there was only one of the men from Bolivar's forces killed. Also, slavery was abolished just as Bolivar had promised the people, and also the victory had led to a new constitution, and because of Bolivar's upbringing and education, he incorporated Enlightenment ideas. And also another result of the battle was the unification of the New Granada and Venezuela to make the Gran Colombia.